instead, I wanted to at least go over a few things about the final. I know we've talked about this many times. I've done given you a few comments already, and you've obviously read directions. We've been working on this since week 2. But just to clarify a few things, just going through some of the directions, want to just make sure everyone is on the right page. Remember, I did give you an extension to Monday at midnight for you to complete this assignment. If anyone is struggling and needs more time, please contact me ASAP so I can decide if I will approve the reason for your request. And yeah, again, so you obviously have been working on a HR topic, developing a training presentation within that topic, and that topic has already been approved, and you should be almost done now with developing that training presentation. So with that training presentation, you're going to be turning in a few things. You obviously need to develop a full training presentation, not just the 10 minutes that you're going to be doing a video of that presentation. So just wanted to clarify that. With that presentation, you're going to be turning in during your final a training outline that outlines pretty much the whole entire training time, and you probably have already been working on this. Obviously, we've had this as one of the requirements. So you have that training outline, and with that training outline, you can just pick one section to do your training session that I will be watching for your grade. So just make sure that you clarify which part of your training outline you're going to be presenting to me via video. So then we have the presentation, and the actual presentation needs to be via audio and video. So you will be using one of those media sources that it talks about to be able to record while you have your presentation in the background. So you'll have, you could use PowerPoint or Prezi or whatever else you want to have in the background, and then you're going to be videotaping that through one of those different media sources that we discussed in the directions. So that presentation is supposed to, again, be about 10 minutes long. If you're plus or minus 1 minute, don't worry about losing any points. However, if you go way over or you're way under, you will expect to, or you should expect to lose a few points there. So we have, again, the training outline. We have the presentation, which is a small portion of that whole entire training outline that you should have created with your training presentation. Remember that you could be doing a 5-hour presentation, you could have been doing a 2-hour presentation or 30-minute presentation, whatever length of your presentation is, and all the things that you covered. And actually, I should clarify, because if there was directions that said how long it's supposed to be, make sure you stick with that and not what I just said. But anyway, you're going to be pulling that out, about 10 minutes out of that, and you could pick any different area from that presentation, and that's what you're going to be showing me. You're going to have a participant's guide, which you should have already been working on, and you're going to be submitting that. And if you have any questions about that, please make sure that you research the point of the participant's guide, and that was also designated in one of the week's assignments. And then you're also going to have an evaluation that you're going to be giving out to those who are participating in that in your presentation. Again, you're not technically doing the presentation, only a little snippet of it and presenting to me, but you will have an evaluation that you will be turning in to those who are phantom guests of this presentation to evaluate your entire presentation. Now remember, when you're doing your evaluation, you're not just evaluating the 10-minute snippet, you're evaluating the whole entire presentation. So you should have questions on there that are asking you specifically, you're asking your audience specific questions about that presentation in terms of how they would evaluate it. So there's lots of examples of evaluations. I'm sure you've been to plenty of conferences and sessions where people have spoken, and then you've evaluated that session. So it's the same thing. You're going to be handing this in. And again, that was also discussed in this class of how to do that. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is that the entire presentation should have an introduction, obviously some content, application to that, and then a closing. So even though it's going to be a snippet of your presentation, you still want to have some type of introduction and some type of conclusion to this 10-minute kind of look-in of your presentation. Again, you should be ready to go. Hopefully most of you are done. I've seen a few folks already submitted this as well. I did open it up again, so if you want to go in and resubmit some things, if you forgot some things and you want to add things, again, it'll be open until midnight on Monday. But just as clarification, remember you want to have that training outline and show what you're taking from that training outline to do your actual presentation. You'll have your presentation video. Number 2, you'll have your participant guideline. Number 3, and number 4, you'll have your evaluation. And I also did want to remind you that you will need to show your research for your presentation. If you forget your research, you will lose a lot of points for that, because that could run into the same situation with the plagiarism. You're taking content and you're not citing those sources or giving those people credit. So it talks about in this assignment that you can have your research at the end of your slideshow. Your PowerPoint or Prezi. You could have it in a separate doc that you attach with this project, or you could have it at the end of your participants guide that you create. And I've seen some really great participants guides, so I'm excited to see what you're going to put together. Obviously, you want to put yourself in the shoes of those watching the presentation, and know how can I write something or have a guide that is both informative and also lets the audience follow along with what I'm saying. So I hope and pray that you guys can nail this down and get good grades on this final. It is worth a lot for this class. It has been a pleasure working with you this semester. I've had a lot of conversations with folks through email, obviously through video, and hopefully we can all feel good about at the end of this class. There's a few of you that I would recommend also doing that extra credit assignment as well. So keep working hard until the end. For those of you who are done, congratulations, and I look forward to reading these projects and watching these projects. All right, have a blessed night.